Okay, on this page we continue with more problems where we're either combining logs or we're expanding logs. So first let's combine these examples. So they're both the common logarithm here. So they combine to the common logarithm. And so let's look at the operations. This term is positive. First term is positive, so that goes in the numerator. This term is negative, is being subtracted, so that goes in the denominator. And then again, when combining, the coefficients turn to powers. Right, so this coefficient of 2 becomes a power, and then this coefficient of 2 becomes a power. Okay, so now let's look at the second example. I have, again, all common logs. So they combine to a single common log. And how does it combine? So again, we look at the operations. This term is positive. So that means that this x goes in the numerator. This term is negative. So the y goes in the denominator. And then this term is positive, so the z goes in the numerator. And then now we look at the coefficients. So this has coefficient 1, so we don't do anything. This has coefficient 1/2, so that's the y, right? So this should have power 1/2. And then finally, this has coefficient 3, so the z is to the third power. Okay, so now let's practice expanding. So this has log base 2, and there are 3 things. So I should separate them all with log base 2. The x is on top, so that term should be positive. These 2 terms are on the bottom, so they both need to be subtracted. So again, even though it's y times z cubed on the bottom, because the z cubed is on the bottom, that term needs to be subtracted. So x, y, and z. Finally, let's leave some space for the coefficient. So x doesn't have a power, so I don't need a coefficient. Y doesn't have a power, so I don't need a coefficient. And then z is the third power, so the coefficient becomes 3. Okay. And then in the fourth example here, I actually have 3 things, right? So the 6, the x, and the z. So they separate to 3 logs. So the 6 gets its own log, the x gets its own log, and the z gets its own log. 6 and x are on the top, so they should be positive. And the z is on the bottom, so this should be subtracted. And then finally, the 6 doesn't have a power, so I leave this alone. X is to the third, so this becomes 3 log x. And then z is to the fifth, so that becomes 5 log z.